Hey, before you do anything, take.
Hey guys, welcome on in. I'm Ryan Gallagher with the Alex City Outlook, and this is Griff Pritchard, and we're over here at the Tallassee Reeltown game over here in Tallassee. It's a really exciting atmosphere here tonight, isn't it, Griff?
This is what we've been lacking here in this weird Jumanji 2020 that we're living in. We needed something to bring us some sense of normalcy, and we have that, and we're having it on a night when you're reviving one of the area's biggest rivalries that haven't been played in a long time.
A 17-year span between this rivalry. And first off, we want to say thanks to our sponsors. We got Auburn University Credit Union, Neptune Technology Group, and State Farm. Logan Steers over at State Farm. Going back to this rivalry, it means so much to this community. Not having it for so long. These schools are like 8 miles apart. There's a river separating them, but there's a lot of cousins, families, friends, a lot of people that know each other, playing each other in this game, and it makes it more exciting and worth a little bit more something, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, in terms of like playoff stuff like this is a 5A versus a 3A, but in reality, this is bragging rights. I mean, this is Hatfields and McCoys type stuff, North and South, Blues and Grays.
Especially since they haven't played each other in 17 years. You never know when they're going to play each other again. This could be bragging rights for potentially years to come.
Well, I mean, it's going to be like when the Iron Bowl gets canceled this year and the Auburn fans get to keep bragging rights for another year.
Right. So first off, we're going to talk about Reeltown's change at the quarterback position. Iverson Hooks was their quarterback last year. He's a sophomore last year. He transferred to Pike Road, the Patriots over there, and now they're going with Gabe Bryant. And I talked to Coach Johnson. He looked me in the eyes as sincere as you can, and he said, I was going to have to hurt one guy's feelings. Both these guys can play. We were going to have a real competition, and somebody was not going to be the starting quarterback and have to wait for their opportunity for, unfortunately, injuries or something like that to come along. And but with Iverson Hooks leaving, made Coach's job a lot easier, and so he bought all into it. Instead of him going back and forth, he was able to buy into one guy, and that allowed the team to be able to buy into one guy as well, and they're riding up the wave of momentum with him.
In my years of doing sports, I've seen coaches handle quarterback position different ways. I've seen them do the 50-50. I've seen them do, we're going to battle up until the start, and I've seen them name a starter outright. Going on and letting your guy know that he's going to be the guy and letting your team build around that guy, that's going to breed success because now you have cohesion.
And it's the confidence that you're putting in your quarterback that he otherwise didn't have. He would have been constantly looking over his shoulder or just worried about thinking too much on the play versus just reacting and knowing, okay, I can make a mistake and I can come back out here on the next series and make it up to my teammates.
Well, quarterback lives play to play.
Right.
I mean, that's the way they live. If you have a long-term memory, you won't make it as a quarterback.
Right. And going the next position is the running back. Like, it's just a whole new Reeltown-looking team in general. Cam Faison's gone, Eric Shaw's went to South Carolina, Iverson Hooks transferring. So now they got to find playmakers in other ways. And although Gabe's more of a passer than Iverson was, and Iverson used his legs more than Gabe, that doesn't mean Gabe can't run. He's still able to use his legs, and he's still going to be a threat in the run game as well as the pass game. But it just allows Reeltown to throw the ball a bit more instead of being that one-dimensional run team that they tend to be and have been since they've been under Coach Matt Johnson.
No, dimensions aside, this is still country boys playing football. They're going to line up and knock the piss out of each other because that's what they do. That's how they're trained. That's how they're coached up. They may throw a pass every now and then. I expect they may throw 10 tonight, which will be a season high.
Well, getting the balls to their playmakers is going to be key, and one of those playmakers is going to be Johnny Brown. Johnny Brown won the Reeltown Ironman competition, which does strength, speed, agility. I think they do a written test or some form of way to see their knowledge of the game and what they're seeing. And he placed the highest out of all the players. And Coach Johnson's really excited about him and just what he's going to bring to the team this year. His leadership. No matter what coach I talk to, he always finds his way to sneak into the conversation, whether it be leadership, just fast guys that work hard, guys that are doing whatever it takes in the weight room, just all those kind of things. He always finds his way to get into the conversation.
You follow Reeltown and follow Johnson on Facebook, and the one central theme is level up. Everybody gets better. And that's what he's done. And it's not just the bigger, faster, stronger. It's the intangibles. It's that football IQ. It's that can I put you in with 2 minutes in the game and know you're not going to crumble? No, you're not going to you're not going to fall under the pressure or the weight of the situation.
Well, I think that goes back to this community. I think people are just so invested here, and by the time they get to Coach Johnson, they have already had a lot of football experience because it's just built into the fabric of what we are down here over in this area.
I mean, that goes back to Webster and O'Neal, and before him, Nix. You know, when O'Neal was coach, he ran the wishbone. The rec leagues ran the wishbone. If you were a fullback in rec league, you came up to be a fullback in the high school. You knew your position. You knew what was required of you and expected of you. And on top of that, you knew what Rebel football was.
Right. And I talked to the superintendent, Joe Wendell, and he was a Reeltown graduate and played quarterback. He said he and I both agreed that Coach Johnson just has that it factor about him. He's got that good balance of new school, the old school mentality with that new school way of talking to their players. He's a disciplinarian, but at the same time, he can coddle you and cradle you the right way. He's not going to sit there and just yell at you. He's going to pull you aside and teach you, not just yell, but teach. And that's a big thing that I know that when I was playing was always a big thing. I hated being yelled at and just not and screamed at. But when you talk to me, it sunk in better, you know.
I mean, I shut down. I mean, they handle that strict disciplinarian style.
Right.
That's going to crush you.
They don't react well.
No, I'm not saying kids there are soft, but millennials.
Yeah, exactly. But I skipped over it. The running back position. That's going to be Scooter Brooks, and he didn't start last year with Cam Faison. He was a stud last year for. But Scooter saw a lot of playing time last year, and so him easing it. He's a rare mixture of size and speed. These are some big kids out here. We've been getting a look at them here in the pregame. These are some big kids, and Scooter Brooks is a man amongst men, if I can say that. He's just that rare side and speed. It reminds you a lot of like a Derrick Henry or an Eddie Lacy back in the day. Just all those Alabama bell cow backs that had just speed and size.
First of all, you got to respect a kid named Scooter.
Exactly.
I mean, there's some great. I've heard Russell County had a kid named Bull Durham that played shortstop. But you got a running back named Scooter. I mean, he's going to be one of two things. He's going to be big and physical, or he's going to be a water bug.
Exactly. And he was their goal line guy last year, and I dozens, plural, of times I saw him last year just carrying 2-3 defenders 8, 10, 12 yards before he finally goes down. He's one of those guys that just thrives off of contact, and he really doesn't. He could run around these guys, but he'd rather run through you.
Oh, he's going to get plenty of contact tonight.
And but that's just something that he has to work on in his game a little bit. You don't have to truck 3 guys just to prove a point and just to get 15 yards. You can run around them and go for 60 and bust this game wide open and give yourselves a better chance to beat this Tiger team. That's a pretty good Tiger team.
In a game like this, you're going to want those pops. You're going to want that. You're going to want the crowd to go, ooh, just because it's that rivalry. It's that blood flowing, juices flowing.
Right. As far as the defensive side, they're still going to have Logan Lee over there, who's just been on that. I mean, you know how when you're watching your college team, you have those 5th and 6th year seniors that you're like, is this guy ever going to leave? This guy's been playing since
Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, he's been playing since his freshman year, Logan Lee. He's just really experienced at the linebacker position, calls all the plays for Matt Johnson, and he's just a stud on the defensive side. And that defensive side is the side that has a little bit more stability versus the offense that's going to be a whole new look offense that we haven't really seen these guys. And not having spring games and having the limited practices they had over the summer, this is our first look at some of these guys too, and the coach's first look at some of these guys. They haven't got to see a lot of these guys have a lot of action either. So they know what they look like in practice when they're playing the scout team and the younger guys. Mm-hmm. What do they look like when they're playing other juniors and seniors and sophomores that are talented players in their own right?
I had a coach tell me one time that that one snap under the lights is worth 25 at practice. It's a no-brainer that.
I like that saying, by the way. That's a good one.
No, thank you. There's no, it's one of those things where you have the experience, and you're in a situation where defenses gel before offenses do 90% of the time in 90% of the situations. I truly expect this to be first team to 14. I could so many unknown offenses and so many question marks coming down that's going to fall down on the defense.
The Tallassee Tigers.
At this time, we're going to give a special thank you to our sponsors. First, we'd like to thank Auburn University Credit Union. I have two banks, and I won't say the other one's
As
name.
per the governor's orders,
their
and for and
customer
in
service is
consideration
not
of those
near
around
as
you,
good as Auburn
Tallassee
University.
City Schools respectfully
And,
request you to please wear masks. Also,
From the
please
plains of the
maintain
capital
social
city,
distance.
Auburn Credit Union is here to serve your financial needs. Visit
For consideration of others.
myaucu.org for more details. Also, we want to thank Neptune Technology. Neptune is a technology company serving water utilities across North America with measurement tools, networks, software, and services all designed for our business of water. And we'd like to thank Logan Steers over at State Farm. Call 334-991-4476 or drop by their Gilmore Avenue location for a free quote. We're going to go on a little break.
People are moving again. And shopping again. Will they find you? We can help. TPI Digital.
And we're back. This weather is coming in pretty quick on us, Griff. You think we're going to be able to have a full game without getting wet tonight?
Y'all might. I'm leaving at halftime. I'm covering the Horseshoe Bend game tomorrow night.
Okay, let's talk about that, by the way. The Horseshoe Bend kicks off tomorrow night, and they are actually playing a longtime rival in Wadley as well. They haven't played Wadley in 2 years, and last time they played, Wadley gave it to them. It was like a 63-6, I think, outing. And I think Horseshoe Bend has the overall numbers in the series, but some of those coaches and players are still there, and they'd like to stick it to Wadley for that beating a couple years ago that they took.
Absolutely, I saw Horseshoe come and play, and I don't think they could organize ordering a Subway sandwich and on a scoring drive during that season.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be able to see them put something together and actually have a chance at picking up the win, that would be fantastic.
Well, me and Coach Phillips talked about this a lot last season. A lot of their problem was they'd get into third down and long on defense. They'd hold a team on first down, hold a team on second down. It's third and long, and then they'd give up a 60-yard touchdown. Just when you thought you were doing the right things, you'd give up. And then they'd go on a long drive. They'd have a 12-play, 60-yard drive, and then they'd fumble right as they're getting into the red zone. It was just shooting themselves in the foot, and now all these guys are returning and coming back. I think they're going to limit some of those mistakes and self-induced injuries, and they're going to be a lot better team this year. A lot more experience.
Overcome embarrassment to come back and play where you're with a chip on your shoulder because you were terrible a year before, that's a huge motivating factor, and I think that will give them the edge. I mean, again, it's country boy football, but it's angry country boy football.
Right. And like I said, these guys have a whole nother year. He's no longer the quarterback, but he's going to be the running back now. They feel like they were asking too much out of him last year, and I think that if they just feed him the ball a majority of the game, then that's the call, and that's all they're going to ask of him. And they got Cole Johnson, who's got an arm. I think he's a baseball player as well. He's got a solid arm, and it's just they've had to reel him back a little bit because he'll overthrow guys, and they're like, hey, settle down. You don't have to show off your cannon of an arm every time. Let's use that accuracy a little bit. And they've upgraded their wide receiver position a little bit. Last year they had some small ninth grade guys. This year they got a little bit more size and speed on the outside, so maybe they can take those shots. But they're still going to run the ball. They're still running a wishbone offense. And Coach Phillips is hopefully going to get that program turned around. He's a heck of a guy, and I just hope that he's able to do it, and I'm here to watch him.
I love watching teams that run the wishbone, that run that smash mouth style.
Right.
That we're just going to 3 yards in a cloud of dust you to death, then hit you with a 60-yard bomb over the top because we can.
And it worked for them last year. Like I said, they'd go on 60-yard rushing drives, they wouldn't pass the ball one time. It'd be 10 rushes, and they'd get 60 yards, and then they'd fumble it on that 11th carry, and then it's just, and then they'd hold the team first and second down, and then give up a. Right.
That's the biggest difference. They didn't know how to finish.
And just focusing on just the more important downs. You can have lapse in judgment on first and second down, but third downs and fourth downs, when the teams are going for it, you got to really be aggressive. You got to really know what your job is and where you need to be on the field.
Absolutely. Field awareness, field IQ.
All right, going on to Benjamin Russell. They're on the road tomorrow as well at Huffman. And Huffman's not a team that we're too familiar with. They're all the way in Birmingham. It's kind of far out of our area. But Benjamin Russell, they're bringing Carter Smith back. And they're bringing back a lot of guys that they lost last year early due to injury. The injury bug bit them early, and that was kind of why you saw Benjamin Russell. I think they went 2-3 to start the season, and then they really started to get momentum towards the end of the year, and that was because they started to get some of those healthy guys back.
You know, one thing about having Kevin Smith as your football coach, Benjamin Russell, he understands the mentality of Wildcat pride. And, you know, you talk about rebel pride and tiger pride and all these different phrases. Wildcat pride is that blue-collar, punch-you-in-the-mouth for 4 quarters mentality.
Right.
And his kids will have that. Even though they were injured last year, even though they were beaten battered, they still fought.
Right. And they're just a defensive team historically in the past few years, especially under Kevin Smith. I think the season before last, I don't know last season, but the season before they held teams at 10 points a game. I mean, that's impressive on any level, 10
Absolutely
points a game.
it is, especially at playing 6A football.
Exactly. And so they're returning a lot of those defensive guys, and they got a lot of athletes on the defensive side of the ball. They just got a lot of fresh faces. Hezekiah Hunter's not there anymore at the running back position, and offensive lines had some guys move here and there. And so it's just going to be a new look Wildcat team. But like you said, Kevin Smith, he knows what he's doing. When I go to practice out there, I mean, I feel like I'm at a college or a pro. Like, they've just got a really good system going, like kind of like Reeltown does. And They just got a good system, and it all starts there. Having a culture that everybody can buy into, and it makes it easy, and it's not a pain to go out to practice. It's not like, he makes it fun. He makes, he's another one of those guys that's kind of a hard grindstone guy. He's a no nonsense coach, but at the same time, he's not gonna just yell at you. He's gonna teach you in ways while he's yelling at you. Or
he's been
a mistake.
He was at Benjamin Russell when I was a student there. So, I mean, the guy knows football, and he knows the program. And I'm really curious to see what he can do, given the fact that he's going to have a talented team, given the fact that he's going to have a team that's angry.
The 50-yard line for a special presentation.
We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here.
Tonight, we are honoring our two state champions.
Who do you got winning tonight's game?
2019-2020.
I got Tallassee winning tonight.
First, we have Macy Stewart.
I said it's going to be first team to 14.
Joe and Joey Stewart.
I think it'll be a 14-10.
And her grandmother, Linda Stewart.
Something like that.
And her sister,
close
Lindsay,
game, smash mouth, physical.
Macy is currently
if I know
in the
anything about
grade.
Coach Johnson, he's not scared to go
first
for 2.
swimmer ever
So I think he's going to try to do
School
that. One of these
to win a
ones,
state
one of these touchdowns that they potentially score to kind of pull away or just put the pressure on the Tigers.
Macy
And
won the class 1A
them going
5A 100
22-14.
freestyle with a time of 53.55.
Once again, we want to thank our sponsors, Auburn
Presenting
University
Macy
Credit
with her
Union.
state
Like I said, they do great things over
Are
there.
her
Neptune,
coaches,
awesome.
John Mask
and
Jamie
Logan
Aldridge.
Steers over at State Farm. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. And
Again, congratulations, Macy Stewart.
y'all have a blessed night.